leadership, new ways of fighting, and true American grit. We are pioneers and trailblazers. We fight for freedom. We transform our dreams into the truth. Our struggles will become a nation. New York City, gateway to North America. Today, the financial capital of the world. Population, 8 million people. In 1776, this is a city of just 20,000. It will soon become the battleground for the biggest land invasion in American history. Three miles from Wall Street, 23rd Street crosses Lexington Avenue today. The rebels dig in to defend New York at Kips Bay. Commander of the rebel army is General George Washington. He has already driven the British out of Boston. A surprise victory against superior forces. But they'll be back.
The hour is fast approaching, on which the honor and success of this army and the safety of our bleeding country depend.
Joseph Plum Martin enlisted in the rebel forces at 15. Inspired to fight under Washington's command. A farm boy, he joins thousands of untrained volunteers.
Our Revolutionary Army was quite something. It was in a nation that wasn't really a nation yet, just starting out. And we took on the greatest superpower of the time.
Washington's ragtag troops are about to face the best equipped and most powerful fighting force in the world. June 29th, 45 British warships mass off Staten Island. Bearing down on New York City, the ultimate war machine of its day, the British ship of the line. Each ship is made from over 2,000 century-old trees. Each carries hundreds more soldiers to the fight against the colonies. And each is armed with up to 64 heavy cannons. Capable of hurling a 24-pound cannonball at the speed of sound, delivering it to targets over a mile away. One ship of the line costs the equivalent of a modern aircraft carrier. Another 350 British ships are racing across the Atlantic to join them. The British want to terrify the rebels into submission. Instead, they inspire them to resist. On July 2nd, there's a crisis meeting in Philadelphia. 50 delegates elected to the Continental Congress from the 13 colonies hold an emergency session. They include radicals like Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams. What they're debating is nothing less than high treason, total independence from Britain. The penalty is death.
They're in the midst of a revolution, the most complete in the history of the world.
It's the birth of American democracy.
We have to expect a great expanse of blood to obtain it.
Some don't believe the rebels stand a chance.
We are about to brave the storm in a skiff made of paper.
But the doubters are outnumbered nearly 5 to 1. On July 4th, 1776, the delegates ratify a document that will change the world, the Declaration of Independence.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights.
Think about that. They're saying that your rights come not from the king, not from the government. Your rights come from God. And furthermore, they can't be taken away from you. They're inalienable.
Every group, blacks, women, gays, everybody looks to the Declaration as a way of saying, we are Americans too. So the Declaration is the American creed.
And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You cannot help but be stirred when you read those words. And you feel the excitement of being on the cusp of something so profound. We can be free.
Now, soldiers like Plum Martin have something worth fighting for. On July 12th, 2 British warships opened fire on New York City.
Must have been quite a shock, because New York up to that point was a pretty quiet city. It was a business city. So you had significant support for the rebels, but also significant support for the people who were still loyal to the king.
A month later, Joseph Reed, secretary to George Washington, tracks the British fleet massing off New York. Over 400 ships, the largest British naval task force until D-Day. "32,000 British troops prepare to storm Manhattan Island. They outnumber Patriot forces 2 to 1. Just 5 of the biggest British ships carry more firepower than all the Patriot guns in the city. Reed is awed by the sight.
When I look down and see the prodigious fleet they have collected, I cannot help being astonished that a people should come 3,000 miles at such risk, trouble, and expense to rob, plunder, and destroy another people because they will not lay their lives and fortune at their feet.
It's the biggest attack on New York City until September 11th, 2001. But the rebels will stand and fight.
The difference for me was that the British Army was fighting for a king. The Americans were fighting for their lives.
Plum Martin is one of 500 men standing guard at Kipps Bay.
Have a look.
The first thing that saluted our eyes was all 4 ships at anchor, within musket shot of us. The Phoenix. I could read her name as distinctly as though I was directly underneath her stern.
The assault begins. September 1776. New York is under fire. In 1 hour, 2,500 British cannonballs smashed the rebel defenses at Kipps Bay. "4,000 British troops storm Manhattan. Tough and battle-hardened, a British redcoat has 6 times more combat experience than a Patriot Army recruit.
Get back in your lines!
Washington watches his army collapse.
Hold the lines, men!
They retreat along an ancient Native American path that will later be known as Broadway. September 20th. New York, now in British hands, burns. No one knows who starts the fire. But over 2 days, it destroys a quarter of the city.
It gives you a sense of the people who wanted to be free, how much they were willing to endure. The city being burned, the city being occupied, gives you a sense of how much they wanted freedom.
More than 3,000 Patriot POWs are thrown into prison ships in New York Harbor. The most notorious is the HMS Jersey, nicknamed Hell. One prisoner, Robert Sheffield, escaped to tell the tale.
The air was so foul that at times a lamp could not be kept burning, by reason of which the bodies were not missed until they had been dead 10 days.
9 in 10 prisoners die.
There is a memorial over in Brooklyn to those that died on British prison ships in New York Harbor. Thousands of Americans.
Over the course of the war, 12,000 Patriot POWs will die in the prison ships, 3 times more than are killed in battle. The loss of New York is Washington's first defeat as commander-in-chief. The overwhelming British force crushes the rebel army. Washington's only hope now rests hundreds of miles inland, with men the British know nothing about. A new type of soldier with new weapons and new rules of war.
Let's go kill us some red coats.